Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about an exercise that you can use to move out of a fear-based mindset. So this is a really important thing to just address during the times that I think we've been living in. And I feel like we've just been, as a collective, facing unprecedented uncertainty and confusion and all kinds of different types of information being thrown at us, and just so many conflicting perspectives and beliefs and different beliefs and family members and friends, and just all sorts of changes in so many ways. They can create a lot of pressure and change, and most of all, can put us into a fear-based place, because when we feel uncertain, we often feel afraid. One of the biggest ways to feel afraid very quickly is to deal with our basic human need of certainty feeling like it's taken away. So this is going to be an exercise that you can go through to just help you deal with some of this uncertainty in general, or just some of the fear that may be showing up in your life in different forms. Because for some people, they've been dealing with fear of job changes, loss of job, shifting jobs, working from home, not working from home, companies struggling, businesses struggling and having to shut down or let go of employees. A lot of people are fearing job security, and we'll make a whole separate video about that. But whether it's a job change, a relationship change, more isolation, lockdowns, whatever it is, a lot of people are feeling uncertain and are feeling afraid. So I really wanted to go through this exercise and just help support you guys in this. So one of the first things that's so important if you want to get out of this fear-based mindset is to start getting into an action-oriented mindset. It is really not a good feeling to feel afraid, uncertain, and then a sense of learned helplessness. When we feel personal empowerment in our relationships to our fears can start to melt away quite substantially and more immediately. When we feel learned helplessness, or just a sense of helplessness around how to deal with, how to approach the situations that are causing us stress or fear or anxiety, it can be debilitating. It can put us right into freeze mode, where we're like, freeze mode is a trauma response. We can just get stuck feeling frozen. So one of the first things you can do, and I'm going to take you through 6 key steps here, is number 1, just look at writing down a list of the things you're actually afraid of. If you find yourself feeling frozen, anxious on a daily basis, whatever it might be, just write out the things you're afraid of. And then number 2, look at, what would the worst case scenarios be? So maybe you say, I'm afraid that something with my job will change. Okay, what would the worst case scenario be? That I get let go, right? So you look at that situation from that perspective. And then what you're going to ask yourself is, how would I still be okay even if this situation happened? What within me would still be okay? And then step 4, you're going to look for, how would I pivot if that situation took place? And you want to sit with this for a little bit and look for truly how, if the worst case scenario happened, there was a big change, how you would have different things that you could take in terms of strategies, different action steps you could take, how there are different resources that may be available to you that you're not thinking of. And here's why this is important, because the mind naturally goes to worst case scenarios at a subconscious level. But what it doesn't naturally do is then look at how you would cope, the strategies you would use to get through that, the different characteristics and traits you have as a person, the different support systems you have around you. So it'll look at just the worst case scenario, form like a selective perception, and emote according to the worst case scenario, but then not look at, and what would I do? And how would I be okay? And what would my strategies be? And what would my solutions be? So it thinks of the worst case scenarios without actually helping you walk through them and plan and strategize and move beyond them. And when we can take ourselves out of fearing those things, and we can consciously look at different coping mechanisms and strategies and literally critically think about it, we put ourselves in a place where we've kind of equilibrated from just getting stuck oscillating at the worst case scenario fears. So you're basically making the subconscious information that's causing you to feel afraid and anxious conscious. And then you're using your conscious mind to sort of help out your poor subconscious mind that's struggling and stressing by creating solution-based action steps that can help you be out of that fear-based mindset and towards a more empowered mindset because you have strategies and tools in place. So those are our first 4 steps. And when you're looking for how you'd be okay, like you're really looking for evidence, and you can look at things in the past, like how I've been through hard times in this way and I've recovered through doing X, Y, Z. I know I can persevere because I've persevered through this thing in the past. So I know I have the capacity to in the present. And so really like putting that plan together will get you out of like feeling frozen and afraid and into being more solution oriented. And then the last 2 things you can ask yourself are, what needs would be missing from my life? Like what am I afraid would not be available to me in terms of my needs? And then how can I look for ways to meet these needs in just different forms? So if you, for example, had a lot of stability in your job and your mind's really afraid, like what if something changes with my job and there's uncertainty? Okay, well, how would I meet the need for certainty in different ways? I can create my own schedule. I can create my own structure. I can take up hobbies. I can apply to different jobs 1 evening a week. I can just spend focusing on that. Like, what are some things you can do to basically supplement for your needs not being met? And again, it doesn't mean that the fear is gone. It means that you're out of that fear-based mindset where you're only seeing your situation or your challenge through the lens of fear. And you're actually thinking about what you can do on the other side and preparing yourself to be focused on the solution instead of just fearing and just being against the problem, which will just keep you stuck in that yucky feeling, unstable mode. So that will be very beneficial. And then your very last step will be, what support systems do I currently have in my life? And look for all the different things you have externally. So look for in your career, your financial situation, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual relationships. Where do you have support? What friends, family members, all these different things, make a list. And then internally, what do you have in terms of your traits, your qualities as a person that will help you persevere and move through things? And, moving beyond fear isn't about pretending that fearful situations don't exist and denying them or repressing them. It's about building your belief in yourself to be able to navigate through them and overcome them. And so when we put ourselves into that mindset, we get out of trying to like ignore and avoid, which is often what we're doing when we feel frozen in a sense of learned helplessness. And we get into actually looking and then actually preparing ourselves to take action and build the belief that we can, in fact, get through this, move through this, because we've got great internal resources through our characteristics and traits. And those are the things you really want to write out, and external resources through different support systems that we have to really look at and sometimes research to find out what's available to us, to really take action to stay in that place where we feel like we're empowered to move through anything. So hopefully this makes a whole lot of sense. If you want to do a much deeper dive into just reprogramming a whole bunch of different things, I highly suggest working on the, you can try it out for free for 7 days. It's 21 tools to reprogram your subconscious mind. And what you can do is you can go in there and actually look at the different fears that you have, and you can plug them into the different reprogramming tools and help to really, really overcome them and work through them in a very quick and results-oriented way. So hopefully this all makes sense. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.